Since the stock market lows of March 2020, the wealth of US billionaires has grown 70%, which creates a huge financial inequality.
They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money.
So should we give in to the social manipulation we're being put through and fall into the woke culture we're being entertained with?
Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything you can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
Or should we become more independent with our money and live somewhere else? Are people leaving America? And if so, where are they going and why? America is so messed up that I had to share my thoughts with you today. But before you start with your comments correcting me that America is actually a continent, I'm very aware of that, and I'm referring to the United States of America. So I will be calling it America because it's short, it's fast, so let's move on with the more important parts of this video. My intention is not to bash America. I like what this country stands for and the fact that it has given me a lot in my life and career. As most immigrant families, my parents work very hard and so did I. I had so many deep experiences in the States, so many opportunities that came across, which I don't think I could have gotten anywhere else. And this is why I'm not indifferent about the issues in this country. For those of you who don't know me, I was born in Bulgaria. I lived in the United States for 20 years and I have educated myself. I've worked for other people. Then I opened my jewelry business and now I'm exploring Europe and I live currently in Spain. One of the most defining things about the United States is freedom. The freedom people have in this country. I come from a former communist country and I know what it is not to be able to freely speak, act, and make your own decisions. Today, I'm witnessing this narrative changing and being falsely directed into secondary issues. We're being somewhat manipulated to focus on less relevant problems rather than facing the real problem of losing our financial independence and therefore freedom. This is done through the news, which no one can fact check anymore. And we're being manipulated through social media. And I think we're slowly but surely losing our minds by not being able to say anymore what's real and what's not. The purpose of the media shifted so much from informing us with facts to being just loud and clickbaity and only triggering the lowest of our senses by showing us horrible images, graphic videos, keeping us in fear, in constant fear, because when you're in fear, your mind is so blurred, you're so irrational that you can't even think what's good for you, what's safe for you, how the centralized institution are inflating our dollar and devaluing our well-being. Everything is so extreme. Super left ideologies or super right ideologies. We're either black or white. We're gay or straight. We're good or evil. There's nothing in the middle. There's no balance. There's no sanity. We're being divided so strongly that with a snap of a finger, we can just kill each other for nothing. And this I find very messed up. My friend of 25 years stopped talking to me because she couldn't handle my midpoint position. I wasn't leaning enough left or right, and that was unacceptable to her. Don't get me wrong. The intention of woke culture is good, and this is possibly a world we would want to live in. But again, we have been manipulated into an extreme beliefs, and this mutated into cancel culture on steroids.
The problem is that people don't think through what freedom of speech means because they tend to think it means the right to criticize those who are in power, for example, which is one of the things it means. But freedom of speech actually means the freedom to formulate ideas badly and awkwardly in public while you're trying to think them through.
People can't even express anymore. They're walking on eggshells so carefully, trying the right words because, God forbid, in 20 years, if they go back, they can sue you, they can demolish you because you said something when you were a teenager. Athletes, actors, politicians, ordinary people, professors, everyone apologizes for things they said because they're being pressured by society about something they said.
62% of Americans say they have opinions they're afraid to share. 80% of Americans, young, old, rich, poor, conservative, liberal, white, minority, all hate the current atmosphere of hypersensitivity.
And we have to be in this constant state of alertness because you can't talk about politics. You can't talk about money. You can't talk about sensitive social issues. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. What are we going to talk about at the end? Are we just going to sit and stare at each other? And to tell you the truth, a lot of things start in the family. How you raise your kids. In the US, a lot of millennials grew up with a sense of entitlement.
If you didn't do good enough, you need to figure out what you did wrong and go back and improve and work on it. And then if you do get in next year, you'll get an amazing feeling of accomplishment rather than an amazing feeling of entitlement.
According to the Better Help article, when children are given everything they ask for without learning how to earn rewards, it makes them expect the same treatment when they become adults. In America, we have participation awards. Every kid gets a trophy just because they showed up. By doing this, you're devaluing the meaning of an award. You're sending the wrong message to your kid. And the message is, you're a winner no matter what, which is untrue. And then these kids grow up with a completely twisted version of the real world. They think they're winners at any time. And when something happens, when something doesn't go the right way, when they lose in life, they feel like complete and utter failure. So they get depressed. And speaking of people getting depressed, the majority of mass shooters had schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, personality disorder, some sort of substance-related disorder. And this tells me that we have an underlying problem that has not been taken care of. I just finished watching Dope Sick and the last season of Goliath, and it hurts me to see that not only the pharmaceutical companies put us for sale, but all the mega companies in this country are selling us for profit.
When a drug company was caught violating FDA regulations, federal prosecutors typically would negotiate corporate settlement agreements without holding individual pharmaceutical executives accountable.
I'm not for sale. I don't know about you, but everything that has been done to us, it's all for money. And it's up to us to decide if we're gonna give in to that or if we're going to stand next to each other and together build a different path to life. Let's stop blaming presidents and parties, and let's stop letting anyone decide for us. One way I see is diving into a more decentralized way of living. I believe that blockchain technology and trustless deflationary currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum actually have potential of restoring our freedom and giving us back control over our lives. Our lives depend a lot on money, but how we manage that and what steps we take to be independent, it's only up to us. So are Americans leaving the US? Many Americans have decided that a step forward is actually moving to another country. Expatriation has increased significantly in 2020. According to the US Department of Treasury report, this is a record number of 6,047 individuals who expatriated only during the first 3 quarters of 2020. Currently, there are about 9 million US citizens living abroad, and nearly 1 in 4 American expats are seriously considering or planning to renounce their US citizenship. Why and where are so many Americans moving to? For each of us, this ideal place has a different meaning. I chose Spain because of the warm weather, the beautiful architecture, and surely the kind people I meet every day. But of course, there are other countries that can check most boxes for you. From my research, Spain appears in several lists as one of the countries where many people are migrating. Spain comes as number 2 after Switzerland as best country to move to in 2021. HSBC surveys saw Spain finish first for quality of life, first for physical and mental well-being, and third for work-life balance, ease of settling in and welcoming communities. It is important to address the issues we face in America and not allow the media or the politicians manipulate you. It all boils down to the economy and how we participate in it. With the extra expansion of opportunities on the internet, we can now make better choices and challenge ourselves with new ideas that are being presented to us. And I would like to hear your opinions on what's messed up with America and how can we fix it. Leave me a comment below, and as always, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next one. Ciao.